Leigh Matthews' killer claims the state fabricated the case against him, and survey shows government could have spent land money better. Good day to you. Convicted killer Donovan Moodley has accused the state of fabricating a case against him. Moodley, who's serving a life sentence for the kidnapping and murder of university student Leigh Matthews, is arguing for a retrial in the South Gauteng High Court. Earlier, he told the court that 3 drug lords were responsible for Matthews' murder, and his involvement was limited to his presence during the crime. Melanie Moses reports.
Moodley told the court he was approached by the drug lords to kidnap a French national he'd once given a lift to. He refused, but they threatened his family. After being unable to track down the men were frustrated and eventually randomly hijacked Leigh, negotiated ransom, and then killed her. Moodley says he told Detective Pitt Bailiff the truth, but he refused to believe him. He says he was tortured into taking full responsibility for the murder. Moodley says the crime scene was recreated by the state. He says key footage that would prove the involvement of the other men have also gone missing. The first from a tar road and the other video footage from a garage that was handed over to police.
The government's land program could have bought twice as much land if beneficiaries weren't given the money. Research at the Institute of Race Relations, Cohen Labone, says the surveys found that government has spent 12 billion rand to transfer just over 2.6 million hectares of land as part of its restitution program between 1994 and 2009. Almost 5.7 billion rand was given to beneficiaries who received money instead of the land. Based on the average cost per hectare, the money could have been used to buy an additional 2.6 million hectares. Basic Education Minister Angie Motsekas indicates that if given the powers, she will remove Moduti Mamanya as Eastern Cape Education's head of department. She made the comments at a 2-day provincial education in Indaba. SATU in the province has embarked on a go-slow, demanding the removal of Manya and the reinstatement of temporary teachers. The minister says her department is partly to blame for the ongoing industrial action.
I think ourselves on our part we also took too long to resolve it. But I can assure you, because of the urgency and the seriousness of the action, with some of the impasses which are not educational, I can safely say the removal of money is not in my power. It's my preference, I can confess, but it's not in my powers to be able to do it. Those are some of the constraints that have been holding us back. So we do hope that we will be able to resolve, because we can't afford much more delays.
Communications Minister Dina Pule has denied reports that the SABC will be retrenching some of its employees. She was speaking at the introduction of the SABC's new group CEO, Lulamu Makobo, to staff. The minister says in her last meeting with the board, retrenchments were not on the agenda. However, she says the board is proposing a skills audit for the public broadcaster.
I don't know about this issue, whether there are going to be retrenchments. In my engagement with the board in November last year when I came into office, and recently in our meetings, such an item on the agenda did not arise. All I know, that which they had said to me, is that we are going to have at some point a skills audit, because we need to understand what skills do we have at the SABC.
A police officer and a soldier have been arrested in Polokwane in Limpopo after they allegedly stalked an ANC Youth League official for several days. Police say they arrested the men after receiving a call that the complainant's car was being followed. The two were allegedly following the ANC Youth League's Limpopo secretary. The league claims the incident was part of a political war in the province and that the men were trying to intimidate him ahead of the league's provincial conference. Zimbabwean government negotiators are locked in a crucial meeting with union leaders to end a standoff over wage hikes. Union leaders have suspended their 5-day strike to pave the way for the meeting. The plight of the civil servants is linked to diamond revenues and 75,000 ghost workers exposed in a public service audit. Union representative Tendai Chikore.
Our understanding and hope is that they've managed to correct the problem, and we think this is a formality to just advise that this is now the new salary structure.
The top story is that convicted killer Donovan Moodley has accused the state of fabricating the case against him.